Hier op de Gamescom hebben we ook een uitgebreid interview gehad met David Corless, brandmanager van Sega voor de Sonic-serie. Hierin vertelt hij meer over de nieuwste Sonic games Sonic Lost World voor de Wii U en Nintendo 3DS. Hij vertelt onder andere over de verschillen, over de nieuwe toevoegingen en hij onthult nog meer details. Dus zeker het kijken waard.
Yeah!
Your fate is to be destroyed. Why don't you just accept that? Lie down and die.
Can you please introduce yourself and tell us what your work is with Sonic Lost World?
Sure. My name is David Corless. I am the Global Sonic Brand Director. So on Sonic Lost World, I work very closely with the Sonic team in terms of the direction of the game and also in terms of marketing the game to all the consumers out there and all the fans of Sonic.
Okay. New in this Sonic game is the story with Deadly Six. How did you guys come up with the concept of the Deadly Six?
So Deadly Six is a new enemy, as you said, to the Sonic world, and the idea came from that we just wanted to create something new for Sonic to be battling a new enemy. As we know, Sonic needs to team up with Dr. Eggman. We're not going to say why or how, but that will all be revealed. But they are a deadly six, so they are powerful. So Sonic not only teaming up with Eggman, but also he's got new powers, new color powers, some new moves to help him defeat the bad guys. So it's all very exciting.
It is.
Yeah.
This new Sonic game, Sonic Lost World, is a more freely Sonic game compared to previous 3D Sonic games, such as Sonic and the Secret Rings on the Wii. Did you got any inspiration from other Sonic titles, or did the development of this game begin from scratch?
Development for Sonic Lost World, I think took inspiration both from older games within the Sonic catalogue, but also is a complete new game, and there's a lot of new elements that we've brought to it. So, and I think different people, different fans will take different things from it. I think the older fan and some of the core fans will see some of the inspiration from the older games, but then also the newer fans will see all the new things, and what we've tried to do is just create, you know, the ultimate Sonic adventure, which I think we've done, which marries those two things together. So it's a little bit of both, to be honest.
Okay. And it seems different from previous Sonic games because it takes place in a whole new world. Is there any reason why Sega decided to create a new world just for this game? And are you planning to use that world more often in games in the future?
Yeah, well, it's a new world. I think you know, it's the world of the Deadly Six. It is a new looking world, but it's also a new world to play in. I mean, when you play the game, you'll get to see that there's a lot of different shapes, a lot of different environments that Sonic will be in. That allows us to show off his new moves, gets to show off some color powers in there. And even though it is new, as you say, there's actually, again, there's a lot of inspiration from the older games as well. And it's even the look has changed slightly, but it's almost going back to that classic Sonic blue sky and the bright palette, which is great. So again, it takes inspiration from different areas.
So, as you said, it also has classic elements from Sonic games. But what can the fans of those classic Sonic games expect from Lost World gameplay-wise?
Classic Sonic gameplay still there. They'll love that. The speed. Sonic is known for his speed. It's still there. But then it's the little things that they'll notice. Spin Dash is back. A lot of people are always asking for Spin Dash to be brought back. So that's allowed us to create a new sense of speed. Now the player can control his speed a little bit more. There's 3 different speeds that the player now has, including the Spin Dash, which is the maximum velocity. So in terms of other little inspirations, there's some of the enemies you'll see. Some of the worlds are inspired. As we mentioned, the color palette within the world. And there's some surprises in there that I can't talk about, but when people play it, they're gonna see that.
Okay, I'm looking forward to it.
Good, you should be.
Yeah. So it's coming exclusively to the 3DS and the Wii U. What makes Sonic Lost World and those Nintendo system a good match?
I think Sonic's been a good match actually for Nintendo for a while, but the Wii U and the 3DS has really helped the Sonic team be as creative and as innovative as they've needed to be to create what hopefully is the ultimate Sonic game, or certainly the best Sonic game I've played for a number of years. I think they've been excited to work on these systems and some of the features, whether it's the gamepad, the 3D within the 3DS, the Miiverse, all of these features from the different platforms are coming into the game. And the Sonic team have been clever with that and created some really cool stuff. So I think the fans will be really excited when they get their hands on it.
So you say that Sonic has a very close relationship with Nintendo. It's a good match. So do you think we will see Sonic next year in a certain Nintendo fighting game again, just like in 2008?
That's not for me to answer, of course. He did very well in the last one. I know Super Smash Brothers was a huge hit for you guys, and I think Sonic was really well received within that. So it would be exciting to see, if he is in the new one or not. So as a fan, I know I'm certainly excited.
So what are the main difference between the Nintendo 3DS version and the Wii U version of Sonic Lost World?
We've looked at making them very different games. They share a lot of features and a similar storyline, but you'll see when you play them that there's a lot of features that are exclusive to both versions. So whether that's color powers, whether it's different modes of play. There's also sharing features though between the two as well. There is something called RCs, which are little radio-controlled vehicles. And in the Wii U version, the second player can play co-op mode and can help the first player with the RCs, dropping them in at certain points. Within the 3DS version, you can do the same thing, but also you've got something called Tails Lab in which you can create them. And then also, you can then link between the 3DS and the Wii U. So any of your creations on the 3DS, in terms of these little RC units that Tails has created, import them through to the Wii U and use them in that. So there's some really cool features. We are building them as 2 different games, and we're going to really focus on the different features, so fans can really get a taste for both versions and hopefully will enjoy both.
Yeah, you mentioned the connectivity between both versions and the sharing of the radio-controlled vehicles. Are there any other possibilities in the connectivity between both versions, or is it just exchanging the radio-controlled vehicles?
No, it's just that. So it's a small feature, but it's a really cool feature, and I think it's something the fans will really love because you're getting to create stuff. Working with Tails in his lab and creating these little RC units, and it's a customization element that's really cool, and I think that the fans will appreciate that.
So the 3DS version is the first time it's a full 3D title. Previous Sonic games on Nintendo handhelds were mostly 2D side-scrollers. What does that mean for the 2D Sonic platform games on handhelds?
Yeah, the 3DS version is the first fully 3D realised world for Sonic on a handheld. So that's really exciting. What's it mean for the future? And I think we'll look at every game on a game-by-game basis, and I think we've shown over the previous few years that we are happy to look at a 2D game, or sometimes we'll do a fully 3D world. There's a lot we can do with Sonic, and we'll always look at all the different options. I think ultimately it comes down to what makes the best game, so we'll always do that.
Sonic Lost World reminds many fans of Nintendo's Super Mario Galaxy series. I think some of the producers of Sonic Lost World actually said that while they were making the game. Did you try to match Super Mario Galaxy on purpose in order to attract to Nintendo fan base?
There are similarities, I think, when you look at just in way that some of the worlds have been constructed. But once you get past that, actually it's very different. This game is built very much as a Sonic game and fits the Sonic world very well. I know Zuka-san and his team have mentioned, Super Mario Galaxy, and that's an amazing game. But it's a very different game to the one that the Sonic team have built, and you'll see when you play it that once you get past maybe some of the similar structures, let's say, of the environments, that actually it's a very different game altogether, and people are going to have a lot of fun with it.
I've played 2 levels, one with the snowball and one with the casino theme. The one with the snowball was quite difficult. So how are you gonna find a good balance between difficulty and so that it's still playable to more casual gamers?
So the level that you found difficult, Frozen Factory 2, is actually one of the later levels in the game. So it's probably a good thing that you found it a little bit tougher. When fans play the game for the first time, starts gently, and of course it's going to ramp up in difficulty. So it's a game that I think everyone's going to get to grips with. It's with the new control mechanism, the new levels that we've built, it all comes together fantastically well, and it's a great game.
And Sonic games usually include additional content, especially for the fans, like unlockable artwork and classic music and stuff more. Are you planning to add such fan service to Sonic Lost World, or are you trying to distance the game from Sonic's past adventures?
There will be some fan service for the Sonic fans out there, absolutely. I think one of the coolest things that we've done, which has just been announced, is the DLC, which takes inspiration from another Sonic team game, Nights into Dreams. So the fans, when they download that, there's going to be some really cool stuff in there that they're going to love. So that's just one thing. There's a lot of other things that we haven't announced, so keep your eyes open.
So in the past, Sega released special and limited editions of new Sonic games, such as Sonic Generations. Are there any plans for a limited edition of Sonic Lost World?
Are we doing a limited edition for the game? Yes, we are, in fact. The DLC that I just spoke about, the Nights into Dreams, comes with the Deadly 6 edition. So you can only get that DLC via the Deadly 6 edition. It's got a lovely new cover, but it's also got this fantastic DLC content in it. So get to the shops quickly and buy it.
So sharing items in Miiverse is also an option. How does that exactly work?
Yeah, the Miiverse is used in a really cool way. So one thing that happens is when you pick up power-ups in the game, if you meet the White Wisp, you can give them some of the power-ups. They'll go off into the Miiverse world. Once they come back eventually, you've got a much stronger, better power-up. So it's a really nice little way to use the Miiverse and the community to share the items.
You might be aware that some Sonic fans had some criticism on previous 3D Sonic games, such as Sonic the Hedgehog from 2006. Can you convince them that the first next generation Sonic game, Sonic Lost World, won't be a misfire and live up the standards of the past?
Yeah, I think everyone who's seen Sonic Lost World, everyone who's played it, I think we've been very open to allow people to play it from the very start. Are loving the game. It's a brilliant Sonic game. and we're just really excited to get fans to get their hands on it so they can play it. I know that we're hugely confident it's one of the best Sonic games of recent years. I love it, and I think everyone else is going to love it as well. And certainly that's what everyone is saying, as I said, everyone who's played it. Even you said you loved it.
Yes, I did.
Good.
When the exclusive deal with Nintendo was announced in May, I think it was, there was some confusion about the amount of exclusive Sonic games coming to Wii U. This one is one of the examples, and Mario and Sonic is also. Are there any additional Sonic games coming to the Wii U in the future?
Well, the exclusive deal was for 3 titles, so yes, we've announced 2. There's this one, Sonic Lost World. There's also Mario and Sonic at the Sochi Winter Olympic Games. And there is a 3rd title, of which I'm saying nothing.
Earlier, Sega stated that they hope and kind of expect that Sonic Lost World to boost the Wii U sales. What will happen with your Wii U support when nothing changes anytime soon?
I think Sega's excited as all the fans out there. You know, there's some great games coming out on the Wii U, and we're just as excited to play those. And you know, Sonic Lost World and Mario and Sonic is part of that lineup. So yeah, we're excited by the future.
Can we talk a little bit about Mario and Sonic?
No, not allowed. Apparently.
No? Okay.
It's very good though. Should play it.
Yeah, I thought there was some confusion about
No, I'm not.
not there be a 3DS version.
Why there's no 3DS version? There isn't. There isn't.
Isn't?
No.
Okay. Then I know that. So what is your favorites, personal favorite Sonic game? Past Sonic games.
What's my favourite Sonic game? Well, taking the old games, Sonic 2 is definitely my favourite of all of them. That's the one that I played the most, and I loved it. It's the one that we used to play at university. Was I the best? I'd like to think so. In terms of the modern games, Sonic Colors, which I think was also a brilliant game. I love Generations as well, but just really like the Colors experience. It's great. So those 2 are probably my 2 favourite until Sonic Lost World is released.
Of course. So Sonic Lost World will be in stores October 18th. So do you have any things to say to our viewers who are still not sure if they want to buy it?
Yeah, the fans have got a lot to look forward to. It is a great Sonic game. Everyone who's played it, whether it's at E3, whether it's at other shows, whether it's at Gamescom where we are now, it's a brilliant game. And once people start to get their hands on it, they'll see just how good it is. So go out and buy it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for this interview.
Yes, no worries.